Hello, friends at Covenant. My name is Linsey Wildey, and I'm a spiritual director here in San Diego. And a spiritual director is someone who comes alongside people to provide emotional and spiritual support and help people discern the formational movement of God in their life. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity today to facilitate some spiritual practices for you all that relate to fear and anxiety in the midst of our uncertain times. And as we begin, I just want to start by defining what spiritual practices are and what they can do for us. A mentor of mine says that spiritual practices are anything that we engage in that help us to receive God's love and give it away. Again, spiritual practices are anything that we engage in that help us receive God's love and give it away. My family and I live in an older home in East County, and our pipes and our sink and our shower get clogged often. And I start with a home remedy like baking soda and vinegar, and then I move to Drano and then eventually call the plumber. And that helps the water to go through the pipes again. And I think that's a great metaphor for spiritual practices, and that they are our spiritual Drano that unclog our pipes, so to speak, and keep us open to receiving God's love and giving it away to others. In times of uncertainty, we can get clogged with fear and anxiety. I know on just a normal day, I'm navigating fear and anxiety, and then here's a pandemic that magnifies that in our life. And when fear and anxiety show up as lights on the dashboards of our soul, it's an invitation to orient ourselves more around God's love. 1 John 4:18 says that perfect love drives out fear. So I'm going to facilitate and share with you just 3 simple spiritual practices that can help move us from being captive and held by fear and move us to being held in love by God. So I want to encourage you to kind of go ahead and grab a pen and a piece of paper. As we begin, it'll be just about 5 minutes of spiritual practices, and get comfortable. I invite you to get comfortable, all right? I'm going to just kind of put some background music on as we begin. All right, our first spiritual practice is coming from Psalm 139. It says, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Examine me and know my anxious thoughts." I'll read that again. "Search my heart, O God, and know me. Examine me and know my anxious thoughts." So I'm going to invite you to take a moment, and if you have that piece of paper and a pen, just take a moment to write down those things that are making you scared, anxious, causing fear in your life. I know for me last week, it was just the fear of not having enough food, and for my family. So just take a moment, examine your heart with God, and write down those things that come to mind. Then take a moment to consider, what if that fear really happened? Kind of play that out. Sometimes that can help dispel a little of our fear. And then maybe take a moment to ask God, what do you want to tell me about that fear? How do you want to speak into that fear? All right, we're going to go to our second spiritual practice, which is scripture meditation. And scripture helps us think about God in a way that matches who God is and what his kingdom is like. And I think Psalm 23 is the best passage of scripture that helps us orient around the safety, provision, sufficiency, and love of God and God's kingdom. So I'm going to read Psalm 23 2 times. I just invite you to close your eyes as I do and let these words just wash over you, and maybe imagine yourself in this verse or the setting or the rich imagery. Psalm 23. The Lord is your shepherd. You lack nothing. He makes you lie down in green pastures, leads you beside quiet waters, refreshing your soul. The shepherd guides you along the right paths for his purposes. Even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil. For the shepherd is with you. The rod and staff, they comfort you. The shepherd prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Your head is anointed with oil. Your cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I'm going to read it again. The Lord is your shepherd. You lack nothing. He makes you lie down in green pastures, leads you beside quiet waters, refreshing your soul. The shepherd guides you along the right paths for his purposes. Even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil. For the shepherd is with you, the rod and staff, they comfort you. The shepherd prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Your head is anointed with oil. Your cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy will follow you all the days of your life, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Our third spiritual practice is going to be a breath prayer. And breath prayers are quiet ways that we can be with ourselves and God, contemplating, meditating a truth about who God is that anchors us in the safety, love, and presence of God. So I'm going to invite you just to close your eyes again. Just notice your breathing pattern, your natural breathing pattern. And maybe you notice tension in your shoulders or in your face. You can kind of just breathe through that. Allow your face and shoulders, arms, wrists to soften. And as you breathe in, I just invite you to silently meditate on this phrase as you breathe in and out. I am safe in your love, meaning we are safe in God's love today. I am safe in your love. I am safe in your love. I am safe in your love. So those are just 3 simple spiritual practices that can help move us from being captive by fear and move us into being held safely in God's love. And just curious, do you notice any shifts in you after just trying those 3 spiritual practices? Or was there one that was more meaningful to you than the others? Whatever the case is, I'm so glad that you chose to watch this today and perhaps participate. And my prayer for you is that you'd experience a special sense of God's presence with you today. And may love be stronger in you than fear. Have a great day. Bye-bye.